What's up, everyone? Welcome to Hidden Power. This is a Pokemon podcast. Today is a very sad day. Ash Ketchum is leaving the Pokemon anime after, I think it's been about 25 years. We're going to be talking all about this, the Pokemon anime over the last 25 years, and our experiences with the anime in general. My name is Dusty Go-Goat. Today we've got Lumio's Post.
Hey, guys.
And Soul Silver Art.
What's up?
So this news was it felt totally out of the blue earlier this week when we learned that Ash was going to be leaving the anime after so long. I'd love to hear what your experiences are with the Pokemon anime in general. I'm sure they're all very different. Zach, do you want to go first?
I love the anime. That's actually kind of how I even got into the franchise. Like it all started with I got like some kind of Burger King promotion that was a card of Lucario that made me think he was really cool. So I watched the Lucario movie that made me fall in love with the anime. So I was watching the anime, and it was actually a while of watching the anime before I even got like my first Pokemon game. So I mean it's been a big part of my life, my childhood especially. I do continue to watch it. I consistently watched every single episode up until I did kind of fall off the wagon a little bit with Sun and Moon, but I jumped back on with Journeys. I just couldn't stand the art style in Sun and Moon. Sorry, don't hate me. But with Journeys, I jumped back on, watched all the episodes, and I mean, it says, our good friend SB Juju put it like so perfectly, so simply, but so perfectly. It feels like losing a friend, Ash leaving. It feels like a friend has just like left my life forever.
You know, when I was younger, so I started with, I think it's really fascinating that you started the anime with Generation 4. I started watching in the Indigo League. He kind of was like a big brother, right, in a lot of ways. Or a rival, right, or an analog for ourselves.
I do have to say, it was Gen 3. I wasn't that late into the game. It was Battle Frontier was going on. My first game was Fire Red, in fact.
Okay, all right, great. Good little detail there. What about you, Soul?
Oh, I'm just gonna age myself terribly with this whole thing, but it's worth it for Ash Ketchum, man. This was really emotional for me. Like, I didn't expect it to be. I was joking a lot at first, and there was so much going around about him maybe leaving or just go leaving, and he's always gonna be there and all that stuff. And it like died down, and that's why it felt sudden. But for me, I watched like the first episode on a Saturday morning live, like the first episode of the Pokemon.
Wow.
It's just crazy because it was like Pokemania times, and I was like in love with Pokemon, like crazy in love. And I was seeing commercials and the games and all that, and I just wanted everything Pokemon. And then the anime came out. Like, I don't think the games were out yet because I was young, obviously, at this time, so I can't remember everything perfectly. I don't know if the games are out yet, but the anime was awesome for like the whole beginning of the first series, whatever. I was just a kid in love. So like losing Ash is like it's intense. It's like, man, he's been there forever. And this whole question actually reminded me, like, do you guys even know a world without Ash? Like, I'm sure that you were born. I
was born 2000, so I literally, Ash is eternal to me. I mean, it's kind of like you said, like, it's so strange just because even if you don't, and I've seen a lot of people comment about this because like I did a video kind of just covering the news, and I had a lot of comments talking about this. Even if you didn't watch the anime, Ash was just kind of a constant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be like if McDonald's closed worldwide. Whether you like McDonald's or not, that's just a strange world to live in because like, that's everywhere, you know?
I remember even, like, you know, people referred to Red, like the video game character Red, as Ash. They were synonymous. I feel like I'm kind of, like, starting to, just hearing you guys talk about this, I actually am starting to, like, ease up a little bit and start to feel maybe some of the impact of this. I think Pokemon for me was
That's
always
called the stages of grief. Dustin.
Yeah, maybe it's starting to happen right now in real time. I think for me, Pokemon has always been very like insular activity. Like when I think I am an outgoing person. I am an extrovert, but I always come back to home base and just like that's kind of like a safe place for me to just like be in whatever headspace I want to be and just play Pokemon alone. So I don't know, just hearing you guys talk about some of the same experiences that I've felt is starting to make me think like, ooh, this is this maybe is a bigger change than I'm thinking it is.
Well, it's crazy. It's huge. It's worldwide. Everyone knows. Like, okay, so when you hear about Pokemon, like, what do you think about? You kind of think about Pikachu and Ash, and we're not even talking about Pikachu, because Pikachu is like literally leaving too.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about that. It's not going to be Ash's Pikachu, probably.
No.
Like,
I mean, I have some thoughts. I have some like predictions.
Right.
Should I get into them?
I don't know if you should save it.
I'll save it. Yeah.
But yeah, just that it's just impacted the whole world. So this news was that like dramatic. I feel like
everyone was covering it. It wasn't just like Cerebi and Poke Jungle covering it. No, like Discussing Film posted about it. Culture Crave posted about it. BBC covered it.
The BBC.
I mean, my parents sent us.
It's on CNN.
My parents sent
Breaking news.
me a text the night that it was announced, where they had screenshotted off of Facebook someone like just the news had gotten to them, and they were like, "Is he really leaving?" I was like, "Yeah," and they were like, "That's really sad." I mean, my parents, they don't care about Pokemon anything past their kid liked it growing up, but even to them it was like, wow, that's shocking, like that kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like it's over, but I
know
it's weird. They still put something behind it.
It hits me in waves too. It hits me in waves. Like I'll literally. It's funny, my channel, I've done videos on the anime, and I talked about specifically how I thought Ash would leave the anime after Journeys, because, like, how do you go, like, the thing that I always said was, if he beats Leon, he's the #1 trainer in the world. Honestly, even if he doesn't beat Leon, he's the #2 trainer in the world. You don't go much further than that. And so I did always wonder, how can they go further with him? They can't. So they have to end him. And so, like, I had predicted that. I had talked about it in several videos. But then when it happened, it was still like a gut punch and like a, wait, what? No, it's really happening? Because I feel like we've done this all the time, right? Every single generation since, like, X and Y, people have said. So I guess that's only...
He won't win. They're going to... They can't reset him. Or they're going to reset him. If he wins, then he's, he's a Pokemon Pokemon master, right?
Right, or people even saying, like, with X and Y, they were like, well, he got to the finals of the Kalos League, so they're going to end it here. With Alola, they said, well, he's a champion now, so they're going to end it here. And then now with this, they're like, well, he's the world champion, so they're going to end it here. And then they did, and it's like, wait, what? No, they're really doing it? I mean, it's...
something I was thinking about is, like, really, like, how long have they been anticipating or planning this, this leave, right? Because I guess they made him a champion, in Alola. So that was what 4 years ago, I guess.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago at the end of Alola. But they were probably planning it even before that. And somehow it ties up with the video games now. So it's almost as if I don't know, that they were planning that as well.
Well, now I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel that it was necessary for them to do this, because like. So with Alola, he became a champion, but the thing about the Alola League was like
it was like a fake league, or it was an initial league, or
right. It wasn't a fake league. You'll have the anipoke people jumping down your throat if you say that, Dusty.
It was a real league. Yes, it was.
We should just like automatically be like, we are not huge crazy anipoke fans.
Right.
We might offend some people.
Right.
The Champions League, they're gonna flag our
It had been established in the past. It had been established in the past that the way the league works in the anime is like, say Ash takes on the Sinnoh League. If Ash beats the Sinnoh League, so if he had beat Tobias and beat whoever he faced in the final round, he would be eligible to challenge the Elite Four. If he challenges the Elite Four and beats all of the Elite Four, he is eligible to challenge Cynthia. If he challenges Cynthia, he becomes the champion and beats her. He becomes the champion of Sinnoh. Well, with Alola, he just did the league, and I mean, the fact was he didn't have to get any badges to participate. I mean, Team Rocket was participating in that league. His friends were participating in that league. Lily's
So
in
it's a
there
fake
with
league.
a freaking Vulpix, And
so it's
the final battle was a 3-on-3 battle. So it certainly was a fake league in the sense of it was nothing compared to the past league. So they could have had him win a real league, and I think that Galar would have been the perfect place to do that, but they decided to jump to the next best thing with World Champion.
Yeah,
and I even think they could have still kept him around for Paldea, because Paldea has established that there's like no champion, there's just champion rank. So it would have been really easy to just have him go to Paldea and say, all the gym leaders in the Paldea region are champion rank. So you automatically establish they are on his level. But they didn't. They just scrapped them and went the Boruto route.
We've also reached our watch time, and we're currently trying to get enough subscribers to get the channel monetized so we can continue doing this into 2023. So if you did like this and you have not yet, just check, see if you're subscribed.
I just think that it was a time decision. I don't think that they really even planned it or anything. I think one day no, obviously they planned it. I mean, like years in advance. I mean, like just one day they met up in the room and were just like, what are we going to do next? And they probably were just like, you know what, it's time. Because I'll go back to your original question for me, Dusty, because I realized I didn't answer it. And maybe some anipoke people might get mad at me or say I'm a poser or something, but I started at the beginning, right? But I fell off hard. Like, I didn't watch the anime probably from Gen 3 to Alola. Like, I didn't watch any of that.
Same. I stopped watching after Gen 3.
Yeah, so I didn't even watch Gen 3.
Gen 3 is really good. Gen 3 is good. There's
Gen 3 is the best one, so go back and watch it.
It really is good.
I just got older. I was like, this is a kid's show. I honestly, I watched Digimon.
Oh, they're really coming for you now.
They're gonna kill me.
I mean, I don't even know if you finished your point, but I kind of feel the same way. Where I felt, and it was probably biased, but I really did feel like once I aged out of it in Generation 4, it started feeling like they changed the voice actress. Like Gen 5. Gen 5 was clowned. Gen 5 was the first Gen 7 where they like dumbed it down, right?
Yes, Gen 5 was.
I don't even ever hear.
I was long gone.
About Gen 5
I was long
anime.
gone. I was
Does
long
it
gone.
exist?
I was like, this is an awful show.
Right.
Not an awful show. Yo, we're gonna get flamed in the comments.
We are. We're done. We had a good run, boys. We had a good run.
I've got no ill will. No ill will. I'm just.
There's a lot to be said
smack
about all of that. But basically, like, I thought that Ash had won. Like, I thought when I went back, I was like, what? Ash hasn't won a single league yet? Like, why hasn't he won a single league yet? He should have by now. Won something, like been the champion. He wanted to be the very best,
Yeah.
I never thought that was like the requirement for him to stop like being in the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always thought it was going to be, because it's Pokemon Master is obscure on purpose. It could literally mean anything. Brock wants to be a Pokemon Master, and in his definition of it is to be a Pokemon breeder. So like,
totally.
It's like a blank RPG character. You're supposed to project whatever you think it is onto them.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. As an anime fan, I'm a little triggered here, because that's not true. Brock just wants to be a breeder. It is not a master. A master is a set thing.
Yes. No, it's not.
It is obscure. It is.
What is a Pokemon Master? That you complete the dex?
They have not explained it, but they do say that it is a set thing. Because, like, they even had in Journeys, in fact, Ash, says that he wants to be, and this is another reason that's so weird that they're ending it here. Ash says, I want to be a Pokemon Master. And I think it was Chloe he was talking to. She's like, oh, well, so you beat Leon and you're a Pokemon Master? And he's like, no, a Pokemon Master is much more than that.
Exactly.
And even if you do, if you were to translate the trailer they dropped for the little short 11-episode season they're doing to conclude Ash's story, it begins with him talking to Gary, and Gary tells him, hey, so now that you've become the top trainer, what are you doing next on your road to become the Master?
I love Gary.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, the exact same thing. Like, they already said, like, the 11-episode thing is, like, him becoming a Pokemon Master, basically. So
that's why it's called Aim to be a Master, in fact.
What's he going to do? Like, he's going to finish the shiny decks? Like, what is he going to do?
My interpretation of it would be that, like, one of two things. Either it would be being the best in battles and having caught them all. Now, they're not going to have him catch them all in 11 episodes.
Yeah, Go did that.
I would say maybe, and I hate this answer. I think this is a lazy answer, but maybe being a Pokemon master is like a state of mind almost. Like, it's like, I now, like, understand Pokemon fully, and just for him, the best way to do that, like, or at least the first way to do that was by battles, because you see in battles he has a connection to these Pokemon, and like he's able to understand things like there's this scene, it's very brief, when he's battling Leon, where he gets dragon tailed and by Leon's Dragapult, and it switches his, I think it was his Dragonite, out for Lucario, and Lucario takes a flamethrower right to the face, or maybe even it was a fire blast, but he faints, and you can tell, like, Ash and Lucario are connected in that moment, because Lucario turns and looks at him and is like, oh crap, and then faints.
It's like meditation. It's like
Right.
it's a psychic bond. I guess I have always seen Pokemon Master, that goal, as like trying to define the meaning of life, or the American dream.
You're a Star Wars fan. I imagine it's very similar to kind of like the Jedi mindset. Like, you can never, like, fully, even though you can become a Jedi Master, there's still even more, like, Yoda is kind of seen as, like, the top, supreme Jedi, right? Like, the best of the best. But even he was like, I need to go into exile. I need to connect myself to the Force. Like, it's this thing of there's always more I can do to become an even better Jedi. I imagine that that's kind of similar with Pokemon Master too. Like, you can't be a Pokemon Master, but there's always more you can do to work towards it.
It's the journey, right? Pokemon journeys. Wow, that worked out.
Wow,
that worked out so perfectly.
Whoa,
it's the journey, not the destination. So I really think, Ash, Soul, you said something like Ash, so what was it? Like, Ash could essentially, they could have just had him become one of the champions that competes throughout Paldea. But what if he is one of those trainers in Paldea that Rika, the new protagonist, right? And her partner, what's the guy's name? Roy?
Okay, so
it's Rico and Roy.
Yeah.
Rico and Roy. What if they are the new trainers, and then they end up running into Ash, and Ash is essentially like not a rival, maybe a rival, but like a mentor type that they continuously run into.
They let that chick beat Ash. I'm gonna riot.
No.
I'm gonna riot.
She won't win. Don't worry. She won't win for like 20 years.
No, because my favorite thing.
We'll be 52 on this podcast talking about this.
So my favorite thing about the Pokemon anime growing up was watching Gary grow his team and get stronger and wiser and more mature and compete with Ash. That was my favorite thing. And I'm so disappointed they kind of like fizzled out. But my favorite thing in the whole world was like Johto era, where he wasn't just a jerk, but he actually was like a worthy rival and a friend. And I would love to see Rika be the new Ash, the main protagonist, where then Ash, maybe in this 11 arc era, they meet up, but then Ash continuously shows up to be like, hey, like, oh, you have 3 badges now? Let me challenge you. Similar to how Nimona does in Scarlet and Violet, right? Nimona is known to be a champion, but she still has a new team that she's training to challenge you, the protagonist.
Right.
So, because I played through Scarlet, and Nimona's like, one of the greats. She's got a great new team, and I just started a new file of Violet, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, it's kind of like, it's almost like a continuation. In my mind, I'm like, this is the same Nimona that I was fighting earlier, and she's got a brand new team. I could see Ash being that Nimona character.
Yeah,
weird time travel
that's
stuff.
That's something that I always said too.
Almost.
Like, is that's something else that I felt about them resetting him. Is like, so with Pikachu, obviously his Pikachu is shown like he can take down the strongest trainer in the world, strongest Pokemon. So yeah, Pikachu. You can't have it go get beat
Pikachu's
by a Snivy
go
next
to.
gen.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people are like, well, he's a champion. He's going to win every battle now. And it's like, that's not necessarily true, because if he picks up a level 1 Fuecoco, it doesn't matter if he's a champion if he's fighting a level 100 Druddigan.
Yes.
Think about us. We all have played through Sword and Shield, and we beat the Sword and Shield League, right? We all became champions in Sword and Shield. But because we started a new team in Scarlet and Violet, we're, essentially back to the basics.
Yeah, totally.
A good segue for all of this is because I know we're starting to like get into like theories about what's coming next and all that, and even for Ash and Pikachu and all. But like going back a little bit, I feel like the anime itself, one of the reasons that it dropped off for me and like I never wanted to really pick it back up and watch it again was it was just the same formula over and over, like what you're talking about. Just like he gets a new team, he goes and he challenges, and Team Rocket's there trying to steal Pikachu still after 20-something years. And it's just like, oh man, I don't really want to watch that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's
they only shook it up a little bit. Like, they shook it up with Battle Frontier, because like he actually did beat all the Frontier Brains, and he used past Pokemon, and like it culminated with him even being offered a position to become a Frontier Brain.
Yeah,
but then
and that's like a separate goal for him. So that was cool.
Right.
That's cool.
Then after that, you're right. It became it was still, then he went to Sinnoh, brand new team.
Even Sinnoh made sense to me, right? Because he still was progressing and getting further and further every time.
Yeah, and
with additional credentials along the way, like beating the Orange Island, becoming champion of that, and then again doing the Battle Brains or whatever it's called.
And I will say, I do think that's something that a lot of people have pointed out about Sinnoh is, in the Sinnoh League, he lost to a guy who used a Darkrai and a Latios to sweep his team.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Ash was so strong in Sinnoh because he had the experience from Advanced and from Johto and from Kanto that he was bringing all that with him to this battle. They had to put in an action replay trainer to beat him. He wasn't going to lose.
And that was a real thing back then. Wait, is that the same Latios that he hooked up with?
That's a Latios.
Oh, okay. Oops.
Oh boy. That's funny that you brought that up, because earlier when we were talking about like what a Pokemon Master is and like it's like a spiritual connection or something, is he just going to be like fall in love with Pikachu, like 100% fall in love with Pikachu? Because I don't know if you guys have seen that one clip, but man, that one in the movie where Pikachu's like "I love you," like says it out loud. That was the weirdest moment in the anime for me ever. I cringed so hard.
It was not good. And like, oh man, yeah, no, that was a bad scene. I'm right there with you, so
it's Ryan Reynolds' voice.
That'd be
funny.
It was like a little girl's voice, honestly.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Something crazy.
Right, exactly like that. Like it was exactly like that.
I don't know if you guys saw like the video that was online of just like people in the theater when it happened, but it was.
They're like, boo!
No, they like flipped out. They were like, "What in the world? What is happening?" Stuff like that. It's just as a moment. But anyway, continue on what we were talking about before. I had to bring that up.
I feel like the best era for the Pokemon anime, and I'm totally biased. I mean, we really should have had like Hybrid Hero on. I feel like
we can do that.
We should do that at some point and get some fact. Like we need a fact checker.
He doesn't know much about the anime. I don't think.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? I thought he was.
I'm just picking on him.
Oh, okay. I'm like, he better, because I don't. Gens 1 through Gen 4, that anime arc made sense. It felt linear. Even the art style was there, right? Gen 5 was the first time where I felt like that was a hard reset. That was like when they called him
it was
10 years old again,
just
right?
Tied with a Latios, and now he lost to a Snivy that just got picked as a starter.
Yeah, but in lore or in universe, Pikachu had pretty much like got the faded like power debuff, like his electricity was like pulled out of him. So
and Iron Tail still should have taken out that Snivy.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, totally, I get that. No. I don't get that, because we all have off days, right? We all have off days. Sometimes
I've never had an off day so bad where my Pikachu that just tied with a Latios is now losing to a level 5 Snivy.
Oh my gosh.
You just click A, Ash. That's all you gotta do.
And I feel like what they tried to do is then in Gen 6, they kind of like gave us like this very serious I mean, the art style was really cool, but it kind of like felt like Ash was like getting back to his roots. It felt like a revival. We had Gen 6, Gen 7, Gen 8. It all felt like a continuous story again. So that's all great. But I feel like them removing Ash now and bringing in these new characters, they can do whole new things, right? And I don't really... I feel like we got to get into it at some point. I feel like these characters are not going to be related to Ash because I feel like that's kind of a cop out.
I disagree.
And lazy. I feel like what I'd rather like is them to. I don't know. I think if there's some sort of interaction, and we'll see in this 11-part series, right? If there's any sort of interaction, I love that idea of like having Ash be the cool rival. I think that'd be really cool.
I think that they're gonna like. I don't think we're gonna see Ash for a very long time. I would say like years, like 2 years, probably at least.
As well.
Yeah, I think 2 years at least, because they want it to be fresh. They want it to be like something new.
Yeah.
If we ever see him again, which I'm sure we will.
What? No,
but
but
I think that's the right. I think that's the right move too, because I mean, it's not going to be a lot of like sequels to movies and shows suffer from that. They make it really like a hey guys, look, there's that thing from the first show. That's all the series is.
Mm-hmm.
They sacrifice, content for fan service.
But they've done that. Like they've done that with Misty and Brock and
I wouldn't
Cynthia.
put it past them.
People freaked out about Cynthia. Like,
right,
I'm totally
hoping
fine
that
with
Journeys that. Was that so that this series cannot be that.
Interesting. I don't mind.
I feel she's Ash's daughter though. I do think she's Ash's daughter.
No.
So here's the thing with that is like where in the timeline is this too? That's another huge part of it. Like in the 11 episodes that we get of the end of Ash, him becoming a Pokemon master, who's to say that those 11 episodes are not like time skips? Like he could grow up
at least the last episode even.
Man.
I think it'd just be weird, man. I've seen, no offense to the artist, but like I have seen art depicting Ash with like a goatee, and I don't like it. It's weird. It's like jarring. I don't like it.
This is something that they've played around with.
Well, like if he's getting older, he's probably gonna have a little bit of facial hair, and that's gonna throw me off.
I'm just saying,
something they played around with before, though. They had way back in Gen 1 or 2, I can't remember which one it was. There was actually like a cut scene where it was supposed to show him like as an adult with his daughter.
Maybe.
I
think it was at the end of the Mewtwo movie. That's another thing. But then also there's the obvious green beret thing is what people are pointing out and says it looks like Ash's hat. But the big thing to me is that her name, Riko, first off, that is very possibly a nod to Rika Matsumoto, which is the Japanese voice actress for Ash. And
don't do this to me.
Also,
that could just be a tribute, though. That could just be like she did it for so long.
Yeah, wasn't Ash called Satoshi?
Absolutely. Yeah. It 100% could. But another thing is, and this comes from Defender on the Cerebi forums, which is like he's huge in the translating community. Like anytime there's an anipoke like scan or whatever, he translates it. He's like the Pokesutami to leaks. He's like that to the anime. And one thing that he pointed out is Riko is a playoff of words where the second part of her name is it basically translates to child.
Oh boy.
But like specifically like child of. And that's actually why
Rika's like
a lot
Pikachu.
of people...
That's what I'm thinking now.
You gotta make sure, Dusty. They're gonna hate you, man, because it's Rico with the O.
Oh, is it Rico?
Rika is the champion. The
Rico is the voice actress of Ash.
Okay, sorry.
And Rika is the Elite Four person.
Oh, you're right. It's Rico. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. That was ignorance. I'm sorry.
One more thing about
that co part, like that means like child of, and that's why in Japan they're speculating her to be Ash's daughter. Like it's literally like a playoff of words saying that she's someone's kid.
I think it makes sense. I think also I've heard a lot of people tell me that like that's a standard anime thing. You finish the series and you have the next protagonist be a pretty much the child of the protagonist. I think that's a pretty common trope. Yeah. But I'd much rather them go. The only other anime I think I've watched is like, I mean, Avatar isn't an anime, right? The only other anime I've watched is YuGiOh. I grew up watching YuGiOh, and I stopped watching it once the new series came out, where Yugi and Joey and Mai they weren't in it, and then I stopped watching it because there was no relation to the previous cast. So they could do something like that, but the fact that I stopped watching it, maybe that's a reason not to do that.
I mean, think about it. I know that like there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. but everybody knows about Boruto because they connected it to Naruto. And I mean, I do think that they'll make it kind of ambiguous. Like, I think that they'll tease that she's Ash's daughter in, like, ways of her kind of just alluding, oh, yeah, my dad was this really strong trainer. And, like, making it as obvious as they can without actually saying
I kind of like
is
that.
Satoshi's daughter. And
Isn't
then
that annoying? Isn't
in
that like
3, 4, 5
like it
years,
that way.
show it.
Yeah, I like it.
that way
I like
too.
it that way.
Isn't that
If
annoying?
it has
Because
to be that way.
like that was the thing. I feel like that's what they always do in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because of poor writing.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, but that's it's what you said. It's like a very common thing in anime. I've seen it before, where it's just like the main character, they move on to the child, like to follow the legacy, basically.
I also don't think they'll ever confirm
that's
her
true.
mom. If they confirm her mom, it'll be in 26 years. Another 26 years. Because, they'll want it to be, because you have the people who ship them with Misty, the people who ship them with Serena. Those are the two biggest ones. But then there are other, I mean, they ship them with everybody.
I want to know.
I like May.
I want to know if
They're supposed to be with
she's
Drew. Get outta here.
confirmed. I want to know if she's confirmed to be the main protagonist, though. Because, like, the boy, I like his design a lot more. Like, she seems so bland.
Oh, really?
I want her
she
to
looks
be
super
like
cool.
so much cooler.
She looks
But
cool.
I think she looks cool, and I also think it's kind of the point to make her, I wouldn't say bland, but I would say basic, just because they know if this is the new face of the anime, kids are going to want to dress up as her.
Yeah.
So you can't do a super complicated design.
I think
true.
the boy
I
looks like youngster
stuff.
Joey.
He does. He looks too young, too. I do not like that about him. The two of them, when I first saw him, I was like, man, what is this?
Actually, he really does look like Ash.
He does a little. He has like the vibe.
They say he is Ghost Kid. I don't know that I believe that one.
Dude, I don't like this. I don't like that they're all just the children. It just feels like reductive. Like, what's the point of them then? If you're just gonna make a character that's a copy, essentially a copy. If you're making them just like a copy, it's like, why even create it?
That's a perfect segue right now for this, because I was trying to get into it and say that if like they just make the whole thing the same all over again, what was the point? Like, basically your point. Like, okay, Ash is gone. That was a fun thing. It's good for marketing. Like, it's blowing up. Like, everyone knows about it.
I'll watch the show now. I'll tune in.
A lot of people are not going to, actually. A lot of people hated it. But, like, if they actually do something with these characters and their stories, and it's a whole new anime, and it's not just following that same exact thing where it's just like, we're trying to be the best and catch all the Pokemon. Yeah, all of that. And they actually do, like, deep stories and stuff like that. Like Pokemon deep, let's say.
Yeah.
Right.
But
they could actually...
In an ideal world, this would be like a longer version of Twilight Wings.
Yeah.
I think what would be really cool is if we got an actual... So my biggest issue with the anime is that they never actually explain or explore the plot lines from the video games, right? And I feel like in recent years, Gen 7, at least in Gen 7 and Gen 9, there's some like pretty cool topics there that they could talk about, and they never, as far as I know, they don't quite go the distance, right? Like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Lumi.
Oh, ever since Gen 5, they did start to like very much steer away. Like in Gen 5, like Team Plasma was brought at the tail end, and it was just some plot to like, it was a very, very watered down version of the black and white plot, like, and it was still very different from the black and white plot. Like, there was no Ends Castle and no moment of like, gets us walking in being like, and you're a failure to me, and all that. That would have been so cool. None of that.
Good story stuff.
Like, what if there was an episode or 2 episodes for every single Ultra Beast wormhole, right? What if the crew goes through the wormhole and they get to explore each of the...
They actually did. They didn't do that. They didn't do that, but they did dedicate like an episode for each Ultra Beast, because what it was like Ash and the Alola gang became like...
Yeah, but that's the Pokemon. That's not the plot. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, there wasn't much plot to the Ultra Beast, like each individual one in the game, other than, hey, they're in our world now, go grab them. And that was basically the plot in the anime was just like they'd be like, oh, there's a buzzwole causing some trouble on this island, go catch him. And so like people don't talk about it, but like Ash actually caught a buzzwole, and Ash actually caught a Pheromosa. Yeah, he caught them. He doesn't get to keep them because like they're dangerous.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, he actually straight up caught the ones he caught were buzzwole.
Yeah, he's got.
They did use Poipole. But he did actually catch a buzzwole, a Pheromosa, and a Stakataka.
Okay.
I know those 3.
So
and then some of the others caught the other ones.
Did they ever talk about that fusion with Lusamine?
They did it, but they didn't address it much. But she did.
They did do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool then. Because I do.
The plot was a little different. They were a lot more sympathetic to Lusamine and kind of made it like a thing of like Faba was really more so the villain.
Okay.
Which is kind of like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. It was like a mix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They made the Proto like bad. They made him like a protagonist or antagonist.
Right.
I agree with Dusty's like idea. I think if that's what you were saying, but just like so they did do like stories from each game. They really did from like Gen 5 even on. They did them, but they were like watered down, kind of like 2 episodes. Like even the Galar story, like it was like a whole event for like 4 episodes.
Yeah, it was 4 episodes. Yeah.
It was like literally the same thing though. It was
even then though, the Galar one was, but like the Team Flare one was completely different. They didn't bring Team Flare into the picture. Like Team Galactic and Team Aqua and Team Magma, those were present like throughout almost the entirety of the series and those gens. But Team Flare was brought in like after the 7th gem. And they tied their plot to Zygarde instead of Xerneas and Yveltal. And it was still a little bit different. Like there was no ultimate weapon, there was no AZ. So they took out what I would say were crucial parts of the game. They took those out. In Sun and Moon, like I said, Lusamine wasn't really a villain. Team Skull was not tied into it at all. They came in later and were just nothing more, or were there from the beginning, but they were nothing more than just bullies. Like, at least the games did tie them into the story. Like they were working for the Ether Foundation the whole time, and Gladium was kind of undercover in Team Skull and all this, but they didn't do any of that. And then in Galar, I guess it's not as essential, but like they didn't do any of the bead stuff, and I think that was important for kind of seeing the kind of character that Chairman Rose was, because he was very neglectful to bead.
Yeah, that would have been great. I would have loved him just like see his character like fleshed out totally.
There was no Swordward and Shieldbert either.
God. Yeah,
thank God.
Those are some of the worst characters.
They're pretty bad.
They are, but I mean, their personalities were great for the anime. I think just their hair was awful, but they're like, I think that they should have done that. Like, they didn't do the Calyrex story. They didn't really do the Urshifu stuff. Like, none of that.
There's some evidence that they were going to, but it got cut.
That makes sense.
Because there was a big delay from COVID, so obviously they would have to scrap some stuff. And then there was clearly some production issues going on because, like, in the middle of the Masters 8 tournament, they started doing clip shows. Diantha and Leon, half of their battle was, like, watered down to just clips of, like, oh, look, the Dragapult got defeated by this. Oh, look, this got defeated by that.
True.
So they very much watered down those things, and they did a bunch of just recap episodes. So there's a lot of signs that the production issues were bad, but, like, there was some merch last year where it was like a calendar, and it showed Ash and Go, all their Pokemon, and there was a Cubfu with them. Which implies they were going to do, at least for Go, like some kind of Isle of Armor arc. And then I specifically remember a thing of merch where it was Ash and Go on 2 sides. And on Go's side was Cinderace, Inteleon, and a Rapid Strike Urshifu. And on Ash's side was Pikachu, Dracovish, or it may have been Lucario and Dracovish, and then a single Strike Urshifu, kind of implying that Ash would have gotten the single strike and Go the rapid strike. But it seems there was some kind of plot that got like just scrapped altogether.
Interesting. Yeah. Urshifu definitely seems like an Ash type of Pokemon.
It does. And like Cubfu's kind of whole thing, like it just wants to get strong. That's so Ash.
That's so Ash.
I mean,
they kind of filled it with Lucario though, right? That's like the same kind of role that it probably would have played.
So what I really want to know is how is this new anime going to be split up? Because kind of like, so like so this whole last season, 3 years, this whole series was like I don't know, like a tribute to the entire Pokemon anime, right? Old characters returning, old locations, old Pokemon. They're like literally Lugia is like in the first episode. So are they gonna actually go back to like a traditional type of storyline for these characters? Obviously, there's no Ash, there's no Pikachu, but is it going to be like, I think two things could happen. One, each season of this series is going to be like, the first one's going to be the gyms, the next one's going to be the Titans, the third one's going to be Team Star, right? Or what
I
they could
imagine
do,
they'd mix all of them into one.
yeah, exactly. Or maybe Rico, right? That's her name. Maybe she focuses on badges. And then you have Roy focusing on, let's say, the Titans, and then Team Star is kind of like that's the new Team Rocket,
Right?
Because I've always kind of liked, maybe this is again going back to like Gen 3. I always liked that Ash and May were two halves of the same coin, right? They both they're the same character, but one loved contests and then one loved battling.
And the one that loved contests made like the game's contests look awful because those contests in the anime were so much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought the contests in the anime were sick.
Right, and the game's ones are just like,
Yeah.
tap A and your Pokemon does a little dance, you know.
Well, that's right. Yeah, totally. So I don't know. I would love to get your thoughts on this, and then afterwards, I think what would be fun would be to like, I think it'd be fun to like talk about what Pokemon we think that they're gonna get.
Ooh, yeah, that would be fun. I will answer your question with a question, and this, kind of ties into what Pokemon they'll get to. But like, there is also a question of, is this our new protagonist for the next 26 years,
Yeah.
or is this
I was thinking the
Gen
same thing.
9 protagonist? Because the issue is she's got Sprigatito. So the implication to me there, like the reason I always said that Go was not traveling with Ash to the next region, when we thought Ash might be going to the next region, is because Go's partners were the Galar starters. So he was always limited to
He was a Galar protagonist. Like, that's it.
Right.
I realized that at the end. It's like he just had those 3 stars were his Pokemon, and that was it. He was playing for that.
And then with Rico, same thing. She's got Sprigatito. I guess they could, if they really wanted to, they could, at the end of the saga, her decide she wants to start back from the beginning completely, so without Sprigatito. But I will say, for one, that kind of that might not sit well with fans because it might make her look a little heartless, like that she could abandon her first Pokemon, her partner, her Pikachu, if you will.
I mean, Ash does that all the time,
but not
Pikachu.
with a Pikachu.
He abandoned Charizard. Charizard
But
needed
not
him.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
Right. But not
Okay,
Pikachu.
finish. I got something to say. Finish your thought. I want to.
Then,
I'm bursting at the seams.
But then another thing too is, if she is Ash's daughter, which like we said seems to be the bigger thing, then I doubt that she would be a Gen 9 limited protagonist.
I agree. I also do we know for certain that she gets Sprigatito? Do we know that for certain, or are we just implying
pretty
that?
obvious? It's implying it, but I think it's pretty obvious. I mean,
It could.
There's that poster on your screen, and in the trailer, you see her looking at a Sprigatito in front of her, like in awe.
Okay, so what could happen instead? She gets Sprigatito, but she could also get the Pikachu clone, Palmy.
Oh God,
Right?
no!
She could evolve that, and Palma becomes the new mascot.
No.
Come on, man. Think about it.
It
works because you'd never want it to evolve, so it would just be Palmy forever.
Yeah. Or you evolve it all the way, and it still looks like a Palmy.
If they went that route, I think it would be more likely for them to, and I would like this better, if she just caught a Pikachu or an Eevee.
Yeah,
instead.
I agree. A shiny Pikachu.
What could be cool is like, or not even a shiny Pikachu, just make it a female Pikachu.
Yeah.
That looks
Why?
different
Because
with the
she's a
tail.
girl?
That would make so much
from
sense.
Ashes.
That would actually make a lot of sense. Like in Japanese anime style, like we're following all these tropes. That would make perfect sense for her to get a Pikachu with the heart tail instead.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Like, well, let me start over. What Lumi was saying, like with Sprigatito, I think that she would leave Sprigatito in Paldea. Like, she probably will evolve it all the way and everything, But if they did it with another Pokemon, like, so Ash got Charmander and he got all of them actually, but he evolved them all the way up and then he left them. But Pikachu went with him. So basically, exactly what you said. Maybe not Palmy, but maybe she keeps like a specific Paldea Pokemon throughout her whole adventure as she goes on.
Maybe even they could find a way to write off Sprigatito. And what I mean by that is like something that people talked about with Greninja was people said Ash's bond with his Greninja is too strong.
Yeah.
He can't just oak it. And so they did find a way around that. He didn't oak his Greninja. He had to release it. That's what they call it in the anime. They call it getting oaked. But that's like what the fandom calls it, is getting oaked. But
I like that.
And people said the same thing about Lucario, and we actually saw that Ash didn't oak his Lucario. He carried it with him. And with Greninja, it's the same thing. He probably would have brought Greninja to Alola with him. But they knew that they couldn't do that, so they forced him to release it. And so you could see something similar where she's forced to release Meowscarada.
I hate that every time, by the way.
Yeah, just keep the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right.
Or she's just a one and done character again.
Yeah, that's what Libby was saying. Like that's totally in the realm of possibility.
I doubt that they would make like, because the issue is if we assume for a moment that she's Ash's daughter. Then seems weird to do Ash's daughter for only 3 years. Then what are we doing after that? Her daughter?
Exactly,
so it's Ash's granddaughter?
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, just keep speeding
are we going to get to Gen 20 and we're seeing Ash's great grandson, you know?
I also feel like, I don't even know if this is weird to say, but I also feel like what I've witnessed is that the Pokemon community loves the female protagonists and they love all the female characters, at least in the TCG. Those are all the characters that are like sought after, the most expensive cards. Maybe they're looking at this like, we just need to have a female protagonist because it's just going to sell way better. And then she is just the new Ash, right? I don't know. For me personally, I've always thought Ash was kind of annoying. I'm not trying to get anime canceled, but like I don't know. I've always thought he was kind of annoying.
See, Go-Go has been like landed in the anime community. He is not welcome there.
Dude, Ash should have caught Go-Go. That's all I'm saying.
So the thing with Ash is, and this goes all the way back to the beginning, like I loved seeing the first episode and watching the first series and falling in love with Pokemon the series and all that. But I dropped off especially because of Ash just being the same protagonist forever. Like it's totally a thing. I don't think he's annoying, and I think it's epic that he won the world championship and all that stuff. But
good battle too.
Yeah, even I said on Twitter like this was a bad move and everything because it just doesn't translate well to like a new series. People don't like the new characters as much, but everyone has been asking for Ash to be gone. It feels weird and it's sad. When it happened, it was like, oh, I'm actually really sad, and so many people were like, wanted him gone. So many people are actually still happy about it, and others are not. But
Sony is, I think, most of the people who want him gone. Most, not all, but most of the people who want him gone are people who don't watch the anime.
Yeah, I don't watch the anime, and I want to clarify. I think old Ash was super cool. Like again, those Johto episodes, super epic. Like I still think of those every single time.
I never saw the middle Ash, so he might have been annoying.
Yeah, right. Every single time I go to battle someone and it's serious, like I think of I'm Gary, my opponent's Ash, or whatever, vice versa, and we're like duking it out. Like whenever there's,
how do you
like,
want to be Gary?
Gary's so cool. Gary has Scizor. Gary has Nidoqueen. Gary has Arcanine. Gary has the coolest team of all time. Blastoise is definitely better than Charizard. It's not Venusaur.
Oh no.
Anyways, so
no.
Let me pull it up. Gary has the sickest team. I'll pull up Gary's team and we'll show you a little bit.
He has a Scyther. I know that.
He evolved it. He's got a Scizor.
Got a Regidrago too.
Yeah, he's got a Regidrago. All right. Yeah. So what was my point? I feel like old Ash is really cool, and I think I kind of like what Soul's saying is like I've let go of the series because it doesn't feel like it's really for me. At some point they reset the character that I knew and loved. Even in Hoenn, like they still progressed his character. There was a whole arc about him learning what power points, like PP, like moves have PPs, right? Like he had to learn, like he couldn't. Oh, dude, Ash said shut up and he had to learn that was like the meanest thing to say to May, and it was like he was growing up on how to like behave like an adult.
He had to learn you can't tell a woman to shut up.
Yeah, right. Literally, that is the arc of the episode, and May's like, "I'll never forgive you." Anyways, so I feel like by doing this, I'm all of a sudden invested because it's like the superhero thing, right? Like I feel like superhero movies were like clowned on because you always knew the character was gonna like survive at the end, no matter what the odds were, and that felt like Ash. And now that there's a new character, I'm actually invested. And I haven't watched the series, so
we have to kill off Rico for this to be good.
You don't need to kill her off, but like I don't know where it's gonna end up, right? Like I don't know where it ends up. Like it would all like. Yeah. Team Rocket was never going to get Pikachu, but they were always going to try. Ash was always going to reach the very end of the series and then or of the league and then not win or whatever, but he was always going to get all the gyms, right? Like I feel like there were all these tropes that just made it kind of boring and limited. But now it's like the possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are, but will it actually happen? Because I have a very, very big feeling that it's going to just be a reskin. It's literally going to be...
It could be. Yeah,
exactly what you just said, but with a girl protagonist and the boys go. Like it's just, I don't know. I'm scared for it. I hope that it's not with all of me. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just like.
So look at this team. Look at this team. YuGiOh has Electivire, Umbreon, Blastoise, Arcanine. What is this? Tyranitar?
Are you skipping Dodrio? Why are you skipping my man Dodrio?
I don't know. I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to make a point. He does have Dodrio. He does have Dodrio. He also has Tyranitar. He has Hatterene, dude. He's got Regidrago. Look at Scizor, dude. He's got Scizor. Look at all these amazing Pokemon. He's got Nidoking. Amazing Pokemon.
Skipping Krabby now. Come on, man.
Look at these are just his boxed Pokemon, and they're still some of the best. Kingdra, Skarmory, Alakazam. That's why I'm always Gary.
I feel you because I'm always Silver. That's where the Silver comes from in my name. You know, like right, I love can be Silver.
The people who lose at the end. That's fine.
Whatever. Silver was awesome, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, where's Silver? Who's Silver?
Silver's a criminal.
He was a criminal, but you know,
Silver.
whatever.
Was never in
Is
the
this
end.
a rival? Silver. Oh yeah, Silver. Yeah. He had a pretty good
should be in the anime. My good.
You know what? He was teased in the anime, like in the Legend of Thunder thing. Like, it was kind of his silhouette was shown as someone that Jimmy, I think is Gold's name in the anime, faced.
It's funny. Silver was in the manga, so there you go.
Pretty good team.
Yeah.
He's got even more than that too.
I mean, in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I'm pretty sure he evolves those.
Yeah, Sneasel.
Against Weavile and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But is he never evolves into Weavile?
I don't think so.
That's stupid.
Maybe eventually.
Oh, dude, look at this art. So sick. This has nothing to do with the episode, but this is so cool.
It has everything to do with it.
Dude. So Silver art. Let's do it. Look at that. Nidoking. He's so evil. I mean, he's a good person.
He does that.
Well, he's not.
Look at they think they're saying Paul is based on Silver.
That makes sense. His father
has silver hair.
Paul's father is a criminal.
No,
Silver's.
Yeah, Silver's is Giovanni. Interesting.
Paul's brother is just a guy who lives on a little house and keeps Paul's Pokemon for him.
Oh, so look at this. Your rival in Pokemon Stadium, round 1, has Mewtwo, Ho-Oh, and Lugia.
Heck yeah, that's when I fell in love.
That's
right there.
Sick. That's crazy, dude. All right,
Yeah.
so what are some of your favorite memories about the Pokemon anime?
Ooh, that's a tough one. So you go first. I gotta think on this.
My gosh.
I'll let you guys think. I had not all of the. I had a couple VHS sets that you just watch over and over and over again.
I still have mine.
That's sick. That's cool. I've got the Snorlax episode, right? Hungry Snorlax, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Or Wake Up Snorlax is maybe what it's called, where he's eating all the vines. Another one is the one where Pikachu squirts the ketchup on Scyther and Pinsir's eyes. Yes. That's another one that's like stuck in my brain.
So good.
Oh, the Bulbasaur episode is one of the best. Literally one of the coolest episodes of all time.
Which
I think
one,
Bulbasaur
where it catches
is so cool.
it, or like the episode where it's not evolving.
Where he catches it. And there's like a secret village. That's such a cool thing. There's like a little sanctuary in the woods, and there's like the Oddish and the Staryu.
That anime was so good.
It really
It
was.
was good.
I
trying to
still
think
think
what it
Advanced
was.
was better. Advanced was peak, in my opinion.
Advanced was really good. No disrespect to Advanced. Here, we'll do...
See, I think one thing I did love is that, and I think this kind of helped me to relate to the character, because at the end of the day, that's what you want from any show you're watching, is you want to be able to relate to a character. And I think the thing that always helped me relate to Ash is he always got my favorite Pokemon. And I love that. Like,
that makes so much sense.
what you mean?
I mean it, because you like those Pokemon. That's even with Journeys, like his Journeys team. I was just like, bro, I don't like this team.
I
have nothing
he
to
got
like.
a
They're just,
Dragonite and a
all the
Lucario.
Pokemon that
My
people
two
love.
favorite Pokemon. He got a Dragonite and a Lucario.
I mean, you might as well throw Gengar in there too.
Then
and just...
Gengar. I do love Gengar as well. Then
What do you?
My favorite Pokemon from Galar was Corviknight, Dracovish, and Sirfetch'd. He got a Dracovish and a Sirfetch'd. And
it just fits you. It fits you so well.
What team do you think Ash would have in Generation 9? If Ash was going to Paldea, what would his team be? I think he would definitely have Satitan.
I need time for that. I can't even.
Okay, I'm gonna do it right now. Ash would have Fuecoco, and he would not evolve it. Ash would also have Quaxley, and he would evolve it all the way.
Well, I don't think so.
And he would have Satitan. No, he would definitely evolve it.
I think Quaxley would stay Quaxley, and Fuecoco would evolve all the way.
I feel like Skeledirge would be moving a little too awkwardly. Where I feel like
Torterra, though.
Oh, I could see him. No, what is it?
Torterra. They gave him Torterra.
Torterra. Yeah, they did do that.
For them, it's all about what's popular.
That's true.
Fuecoco is more popular. I don't know. True. I think the little cute
people
Fuecoco.
love Quaxley. It's Quackquavel that's like more iffy. People are more divided with it. So that's why I think he would keep Quaxley a Quaxley. He would evolve Fuecoco all the way. Okay. I would say that he'd get a Kilowattrel because it looks very him, but it's an electric type, and he never gets an electric type. His only electric type is Pikachu.
That's a good point.
I think he would actually skip out on that. I could see him getting a Flamigo, though, because that's like very goofy and stuff.
It is goofy.
Could be a very comic relief mon. It would be on the main cast.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just a question
of if you would get it or not. I do think Satitan. I
think Satitan's like Satitan. It's big. It's a tank. It's I don't know. I think it reminds.
Toddle could be. I'm really
looking
goofy.
I'm looking at Glalie, and for whatever reason, it does remind me of that. Right. And then if Ash would get one Paradoxmon, what Paradox would that be?
There'd be no shot they'd give him one. But
why? That he got an Ultra Beast.
I think the Paradoxes are even more absurd, to be honest.
No,
I think they're more absurd for him.
The fact that they gave him something from outer, they gave him an extraterrestrial from another dimension.
It would be really late in the series either way.
I think he'd be Coridon. I think he'd be Coridon.
Yes,
that's true. They would give him a box legend.
This is a good question for the new anime that's coming. Actually, like, are they going to give them Coridon or Miraidon for like the story of it, and just like follow the?
That's how they travel.
The Scarlet and Violet story kind of thing. Because they do that in all the other anime.
They won't. I think it'll be more like what we've seen from the anime in past few gens, where it'll be more like a story that's. It won't be the Scarlet and Violet story. It'll be a story that's set in Paldea, and they'll maybe do some stuff like the Team Star plot, and they might even tie Arven into it. I don't think they'll necessarily do like the whole Legends stuff tied into it, because you can do Arven's story without the Legends. You don't need Coridon, Miraidon to do Arven's story.
I would hope that they include these characters, right? Like, get to know Penny, right? Get to know Arven. Get to know.
I hope so, but after Galar, like I've just been burned. They brought Hop in at the last minute.
Yeah, but Galar is its own thing.
Wasn't in it at all. Marnie was super shafted, and then they did the same thing in Alola. I mean, all the characters in Alola were super shafted or changed so much.
What was what's his name? There's Lily and
Adian.
Yeah, what were their involvement?
So Lily was his companion, and the thing they did with her was she was saved by Type Null from an Ultra Beast a while back, but she has like PTSD from it. So like her whole thing is she's afraid to like touch Pokemon. And she gets an egg, and the Alolan Vulpix, it's hers, and She learns how to touch it. Eventually, she learns to be able to pet Pikachu, and eventually, she finds out that like she remembers it wrong to where she thinks the Type Null attacked her.
Yeah.
But she starts to remember that, like, you know, like her memory's brought back and Silvally saves her again. And she remembers what happened. So she's able to, you know, kind of touch all Pokemon. That seems so weird to say. But,
Okay.
that was really it. Then they kind of just did, like, the whole, like, oh, my father's missing stuff with her. Gladion, they made him, I mean, he was just a rival to Ash, really. Like, he was just, like, tough trainer that Ash faced. Like, honestly, his Silvally was kind of shafted for his Lycanroc. Like, his Lycanroc was kind of seen as his ace in the anime. In my opinion, it seemed more like his ace than his Type Null or Silvally did.
Okay.
But even the final fight was Lycanroc versus Lycanroc. Pikachu versus Silvally. Silvally was the first of his Pokemon to faint in their battle.
Silvally is such a cool Pokemon.
I love Silvally.
I feel like there's more explanation there. Okay, so I got the list of Gen 9 Pokemon. I feel like I kind of have a good handle on this. All right, I think Ash would have Pikachu. Ash would also have Fuecoco. Whether or not he evolves it or not, I don't really know. I could see him evolving it all the way. I still think he could probably have Quaxquaval because it doesn't need to be dancing like that constantly, right? But also, but think about Ludicolo. Like Brock had Ludicolo, and that was the joke that it was always dancing. So I feel like that'd be a good anime Pokemon.
I don't think they do that with a starter though. Like unless they keep it a baby. Like they don't want.
What about Totodile? Totodile was always ridiculous.
Like I said, he was a baby.
That's true.
They make comic relief the babies, not the evolutions. The evolutions are always cooler,
serious and stuff.
Right.
That's fair. I could see that. It probably also maybe there's like a budget constraint. They're like, this is gonna like take us so and so amount of time every single week just to animate it moving to make it dance.
There's a lot of like points for the starters. And this goes for the current series. What they can be like. Like they all have kind of quirks, if you will. Like Quaxley, you know, has to have his hair neat. Fuecoco is kind of stupid and also you know, loves to eat.
Yeah,
and
that's a good one.
It talks about how it gets really, really jealous when you give attention to other Pokemon. So that can be something that they do with it as well. Like, you know, the girl gets a giraffe egg that she's starting to pay more attention to, and the Sprigatito is like, nah, I don't like that, you know?
That's a good point. Okay, so well, let's just give him one Pokemon. Pikachu, Fuecoco. I think he would definitely have low kicks. I think that would be like the perfect Pokemon for Ash.
That would be pretty cool. In my opinion. I could see that.
I think also Garganacl just feels like Boldore to me. I feel like that'd be a really good pick for Ash. He possibly could also have either Armarouge or Ceruledge. I feel like that also is like.
I feel like that would be like the rival's ace, or not ace, but like the rival's like really, really strong Pokemon he has, like kind of like what Drapion was for Paul, where it like wasn't his ace, but it was like this mon that was really scary on his team.
When I look at Armarouge, I'm thinking of Ash's red cap. I feel like they just would match perfectly.
It would be cool if he got Armarouge and like his rival had a Ceruledge, and like the final battle was an Armarouge versus Ceruledge.
I can definitely see him with a Charcadet and maybe he not even evolve it, but you know, maybe it feels like his kind of thing.
It's like when he had
him with a Cyclizar.
Yeah,
could see him with a Cyclizar if he didn't get the legend.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay, Flamigo. I do like how you said he could have Flamigo. I don't know how that would fit on the team. But Cetitan, for whatever reason, is just like such a goofball.
Stands to me that as an Ashmon.
Yeah, it reminds me of Dracovish.
Obviously, Annihilate.
Oh yeah, dude, he finally gets it back. Or Ash took so long to get his Primate back that it already died into Annihilate.
Even the Dunsparce, they had like.
This?
And then and I think the Paradox Pokemon that Ash would get would be Great Tusk because he already has Donphan, right?
Nah, to me that'd be a reason he wouldn't get Great Tusk.
No, I think that'd be so sick. I think that'd be perfect for him. Or they give him something ridiculous.
Maybe see because that's
maybe
like
Iron Thorns
for marketing one.
Yeah. Oh, would he have Goldega?
I would not. No.
I think he could. He could.
Oh, so stop it.
He could.
This man is not alive anymore to defend himself. Let's not.
I started a new Violet playthrough, and I am gonna use a Golden Go.
No.
Super tough. They're super tough.
All right.
The design.
So let's get back on track. What else do you guys want to talk about as far as the anime goes? I think it would be only right for us to have like a professional anime viewer on maybe in a future episode, and we can revisit these topics.
I don't do YouTube on anime stuff specifically. I have watched the franchise. I've seen every episode of every saga, with the sole exception of I have not seen every episode of Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
So, I can just say here, no, he would not have a Golden Go.
That's good.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah. You asked what our favorite anime memories were or whatever. I'll go back.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's all good. We just went on a tangent. I love it.
Yeah,
it's a great place to go back to close out.
Yeah, I agree. For me, like, we didn't really touch on the movies at all, but the first movie, and especially the second movie, 2000, with YuGiOh and the legendary birds, like those like established me as a Pokemon fan. I don't even know what else to say other than like those two movies were epic in my life towards all of this. Like, I wouldn't be doing this today without those two movies.
That's really cool. Yeah,
those
are so good.
Like,
yeah,
there's a really like kind of fun memory I have with the movies. My favorite movies were the Lucario and Mystery Mew, because I loved Lucario, and that was like the first movie I saw that got me into the franchise. And I also loved, because I was also a big Latios and Latias fan, I loved the Heroes movie, which is the Latios and Latias movie. And it's really funny. This was here's a really good throwback for you. We had our local Blockbuster, and they had some Pokemon movies to rent, and I always wanted to see the special that they did for Mewtwo Returns. I always wanted to see that, but every time I went, they had one copy of Mewtwo Returns, and every time I went, it was checked out. So I would always check out Heroes. I would always check out Heroes. Well, my wife was telling me a few months ago that she always wanted to watch Heroes, so she would go to our local Blockbuster long before we knew each other to get Heroes, and it was always checked out, so she would check out Mewtwo Returns.
Oh,
so it's actually it's really kind of neat, because this whole
time
we
you live in the same town?
She lived in a town over from mine, but it was such a small town that like their local Blockbuster was a town over. They had to come to
That's hilarious.
So it was almost definitely her.
Oh yeah, it totally was her. And that's just kind of a cool. It's cool to like take Pokemon and like see that it even has like a connection to my wife and me as children, you know, over 10 years before we would even meet each other. You know, that's a really
that's destiny.
A sweet thought. It's a really cool, sweet thought.
Oh yeah, so the anime, you're trying to like weave in the anime as if it like. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to like be.
It was part of our life.
I'm trying to be sentimental with you guys, but I don't know. I'm not that upset that Ash is leaving. I'm not that upset. I feel like it's long due.
Ooh, this man.
I'm not trying to be controversial at all.
No,
I have sweet memories.
It is fair.
It's,
I mean, everybody's
fair. But when the next series is exactly the same as the old series, and they didn't need to get rid of Ash, you and all the people that wanted him gone will know that it was for nothing. I don't know.
The issue is, I don't know. I just hope that they don't do too much to where they can't go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I hope it's in the same universe. I hope it's in the same universe.
I hope they don't show him as an adult and show, oh look, he caught all the Pokemon and beat all the leagues, because like then you can't go back.
Yeah,
I think it'd be cool if like she's like they're traveling together and then Ash they stumble upon her and she gives advice. Like I always think of Gen 5, where you run into Alder and he's like, hey, just jumping off cliffs. Like, how you doing? Like, how's your journey? Like, I feel like Ash could be doing that. Like, she comes over a cliff and she sees Ash is like, there's just like a guy in the distance. It's Ash and Pikachu and they're battling a wild Pokemon. And then he goes, like, oh, hey, young trainer, like, here's some stuff. Like, here's some super potions. You might need these. And then they have like a little conversation or something.
I think it'd be sweet if it was like, if she is his daughter, if like they, like I said, reference it very subtly with just things like, I don't know, like her saying, "Oh, look, a Dragonite. I actually grew up with a Dragonite that loved to hug me." It's like that's his whole Dragonite thing is it loves to hug people.
That's cute.
Like little things like that would be really sweet.
Yeah, that's nice. That would be pretty nice. There was a great piece of anime that they put out, like maybe last year, where this young girl grew up with an old Charizard because her father.
Yes, was that Twilight Wings?
Is that what it was?
No, it was just I think.
Oh no, it was
like
Poketoons.
Yep.
Yeah, Poketoons. Yeah, and the Charizard. That's a
so
great.
good.
That's a
With
great
the
piece
Nidoran.
Yeah. Great piece of media right there.
The new anime, I guess this is like a nice little thought to leave everyone with. If the new anime is anything like that episode of Poketoons or anything like Twilight Wings, because I think that kind of encapsulates that same deep storytelling energy, not just, I traveled to next gym. Team Rocket stole Pikachu. Pikachu used Thunderbolt. Team Rocket blast off. Then we'll be good. We'll be good. Like this, we're in good hands if it's anything like that.
I really think they will try to. They know that those were popular. They saw our reactions to Twilight Wings and to that. And
maybe that was all testing the waters.
Yeah, it's very possible. And if that's
same
the
with
case,
Sun
I
and
will
Moon
take
and
back
Journeys.
what I said earlier. But
right.
But yeah,
same with Sun and Moon and Journeys. Those were completely different types of series. It could have all just been them getting a feel for what we like, what we don't like, so they could give us the perfect Pokemon anime.
Let's hope.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of wishful thinking. We do a lot of that on Hidden Power.
Yeah, it's true. I have one last thing to say.
Hidden Power.
Sure.
It's very just random and a piece of information.
Okay.
The girl's name is actually. So I'll start off.
Yes. Yes.
That's the tease. And so a while back we got some information on Scarlet and Violet about their something English in their names from Singapore, because in Singapore they speak English. So Singapore gets more information before us, basically. And so in English, her name is actually Laika, because R and L are swapped in Japanese a lot of times.
Yeah.
So it's like
languages,
Rika Matsumoto, but they swapped it with the L.
Yeah. So it's an L. It's Liko is her name.
Yeah.
Liko.
Well, so
it's on that in Cerebi. It's listed as that on Cerebi.
It is listed. I think
that's her English name, as far as I can tell, according to Singapore.
I don't know if. Okay, so you're saying Singapore might have confirmed.
It was Roy, not the. Is that his name in Japanese too?
Roy
it would be
Roy,
Liko and Loy.
It's Liko and Roy. I'm pretty sure.
All right.
I was trying to say it earlier, but it's just so hard.
Yeah, I didn't want to confuse. I didn't want to confuse about the swap, but I think it's we still might not know what the actual name is. But that's interesting. I guess if they do it in Singapore, you're saying that might confirm it. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, this was fun. It's nice to talk about something a little bit different than just the newest, hypest thing in the Pokemon games. I am looking forward. I'm looking forward to watching this anime. I think it could be really good.
You're gonna watch it?
I'll watch it a little bit. The thing is
you're gonna watch it?
They got me back into Sun and Moon because of the stylistic changes, not the art style changes, but the stylistic changes of Sun and Moon. I didn't like it that much either, but the actual changes to the formula I liked a lot, and I watched most of Sun and Moon, and then I stuck with it all the way until Journeys, and I watched all the way up until the Eternatus arc of Journeys, and then I was just like, this is not good to me. I kind of fell off. So I'm just on this new one, I'm I'm ready to go. I'm going to start it. We're going to watch it. And I just hope that it doesn't fall off like Journeys did, I'm hoping.
Yeah. I'm interested to watch the first couple episodes at least. We'll see if it hooks me. The main thing that prevents me from watching it is because there's a delay. There's a 2-week or month delay or something with the episodes. They come out.
Oh, you got to watch it online. So
if you guys show me how to do that, I'm down. But it's
absolutely,
I can't watch it on Netflix.
Dude, you gotta watch with subtitles too. I can't watch the dub. The dub is
The dub is it's just gotten worse. It's just gotten worse. They use a stupid flute theme. They
God.
use this stupid flute theme every single time something cool happens. Like they'll use this epic music in the like Japanese version, and then the dub will come out, and they'll just play a freaking flute over it.
I can't wait to see the comments. I really can't wait to see the comments.
They're gonna roast us, dude. People are going to destroy us over this video.
Says, hey, what's our sub count at the time of recording, Dusty?
It's a little over 400.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna go to like about a little over 100 after this.
We love Pokemon, guys. Don't worry.
We really love Pokemon. But anyways, yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, please let us know if you have questions in the comments. Leave questions or tell us how you feel about anything that we said or any of this new news. We read everything. Really
That's why
appreciate
Dusty's wrong.
Yeah. We've also reached our watch time, and we're currently trying to get enough subscribers to get the channel monetized so we can continue doing this into 2023. So if you did like this and you have not yet, just check, see if you're subscribed. If you're listening on Apple Music or Spotify, leave us a review and follow us there. Thank you guys for being with us. Signing off.
Perfect.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.